Welcome to the Rotary Times Show, a public service program presented by Rotary District 7610. On our programs, we talk with Rotarians and community leaders and discuss how Rotary International builds partnerships to support local, national, and world communities. I am your host, Rotarian Dr. Deborah Jackson from the Rotary Club of McLean, Virginia. Two years ago, the founders of the Michello, and I want to say that correctly, project, a Rotary Global Grant Partnership Initiative, were on this very stage where they introduced their amazing project based in Africa. They left us in awe and anticipation for what they were doing there and what lies ahead for the project. Guess what? Now they're back. They're back with us again to share where they've been and what they have achieved to date. Joining me remotely is Rotarians Dr. Lois Wilson and Rotarian Meesh, that's who we know her by, Peters, who will provide us with an update on their project. Welcome back, ladies, to the Rotary Times Show.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Great. You know, I say that to all of my guests to please come back, and I want to thank you for accepting the ask to return. So it's great to have you. Let's start by sharing with our audience a little bit about you. Very quickly, your club, the name of your club, maybe the type of club you have, and the location. And we'll start with Meesh. We'll start with you.
Okay. I am with the Bailey's Crossroads Rotary Club in the Bailey's Crossroads Seven Corners area in Falls Church, Virginia. I'm also the Interact Chair at the local high school, at Justice High School, and also hold different district officer roles in our district. So I'm really happy to be here.
Great. Dr. Lois.
Yes, thank you. Hi, Deb. I am a member of the McLean Rotary Club, longtime member, former past president, and our club is a lunch club. We meet for lunch every Tuesday afternoon at the Lutheran Redeemer Church Social Hall. And we have a long-standing relationship with this project.
Okay, great. And I know both projects in both clubs. And if you folk want to go for a morning breakfast, you can hit up Meesh for breakfast. And if you still have some space left, we can come to you for lunch. So thank you both for being here. Can you provide an overview, and I'm going to throw this out at you, Dr. Lois, can you provide an overview of the progress and achievements made in the Michello project to date?
Well, I guess I would say our biggest achievement is that we are completing building of a dental clinic structure, which is part of a bigger project. So step one is complete. We are very excited about that. We have been also recipient of a global grant through Rotary International, which allowed us to purchase disability accessible equipment, which is something that is unheard of in this part of the world. We've provided free dental health care services and preventative education to residents, to children specifically, special needs children. And also, we undertook an education of clinicians on serving with that population with disabilities. And that was not just limited to dental clinicians. It was a broad range of all healthcare providers in the country, actually.
Okay.
Another advancement was we were able to surround the property that we have with a tree line. And that was to support and act as a natural windbreak. Because in that region, terrible windstorms are known to happen. And we are actually considered a model of the a model campus for the use of trees specifically, supported by the Ministry of Forestry in the country, the Kingdom of Eswatini.
Okay, thank you. And Meesh, I've heard a lot there. The new clinic, I've had an opportunity also to see pictures of all that has happened as that was being built, and so thrilled, and congratulations to you both on that. But Meesh, what specific impact has the project had on the communities in which you all have served? Can you just maybe give us a success story?
Sure. I mean, I think for the last, we've been going over there now for almost 17 years. And through that 17 years of running our, every 3 years, we have a dental health program. We've really decreased the amount of oral health issues and concerns from the first time we went over. So essentially, we're saving teeth and we're saving lives because we all know how important dental health is for the overall health of a human being. I think also is one of the great things is the clinic that we are building. It will be the only low-cost dental clinic in the area. The closest clinic that they have is over an hour drive. And so when you don't have a car, you're talking about a big investment of your time. And so this is kind of a way for the average person in that area to actually access some dental health services that they otherwise have no access to. Not to mention, I think that the big piece of this is our campus, our clinic. It's specifically designed to accommodate those with disabilities, which is something unheard of in that part of the world, to the point that we even have a disability-friendly dental chair that we have put into the clinic. So that is pretty significant, especially for a population where there are many people who are older, who are in wheelchairs, and they don't have access to something as simple as a dental chair.
What about some unexpected developments? Because this sounds very great and sounds like things are running smoothly, but I know you've had some challenges. How about a couple of challenges?
Sure, I think there's, when you're working with different cultures and different parts of the world, you have different perceptions and different expectations. When we first started going over there, one of the things I ran to as a special education teacher with Fairfax County was their understanding of a person with disabilities. In their mind, it was a curse. It was something that was witchcraft, designed by witchcraft. It was something that you hide, and it's something that where they're a burden on society. And so trying to explain that and creating that cultural difference of understanding has been something we've worked really hard to accomplish in the last 15 years, working with not only the parents, but the teachers, as well as going as far as up to the chiefs and the sangomas, or the religious healers, the witch doctors, as they might say, to work with them to better understand what a disability is and how that can affect a society, as well as being just a little inclusive, and how developing those inclusive tendencies can really impact how someone can access their community and not just be a vacuum on their community, but actually be a contributor to the community.
Absolutely. You sound like you could be a model for some areas right here in the United States, just helping people better understand that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dr. Lois, in what ways has Rotary's support contributed to the success of the project?
Well, Rotary has been such a big part of the success of our project. So, of course, funding is and making available through people's contribution to Rotary International Foundation. Those funds have really been the driver for a big part of our success. So yes, so how can clubs get involved? They can allocate their designated, district designated funds. If we're having a grant, they can partner with us as part of the grant to help us raise money. And then things that are not necessarily dental related, of course, that's my frame of reference, but things such as bras, believe it or not, our community support has been tremendous. Of course, toothbrushes, disability equipment, and the list goes on. And I would say contact Meesh or put a note on the website to let us know how that might turn out. I think over the years, things have evolved. So we have learned how to incorporate lots of different support. So if you have the heart, let us know.
Okay. The community, Meesh, how have they responded to your initiatives and the support and their involvement? What do you tell us about some of that?
Sure, it's been really exciting. So we were lucky enough regarding the clinic per se, we were lucky enough where a chief actually came to us. So chief came to myself and our local partner, Nuzis Wakeninza, and he came to us and said, I would like to give you some Swazi Nation land if you build this legacy of this clinic that's needed in my community. So we did our due diligence, we did some research, and what we did is we found that there was something called a Kona certificate, which gave us a 99-year free lease for us to have the land if we gave him a cow. So let me tell you what, it's not an everyday that I'm a high school education teacher thinking I'm going to go to Africa and be, buying a cow, but we did, and it was really great because what it did is it embedded us into the culture and the community, as me being an outsider to understand the community. So what's great there is every time I'm there, I have a meeting with the chief. I go up to his home. Uh, I bring, food and things for his family, which is traditionally appropriate. And he has been overwhelmingly supportive of us and making sure that the community knows me as a member of the community, not just a guest. And I think, he's really gotten everyone involved in the entire community to let them know that this clinic belongs to not me, but belongs to them as well. And so it's their job to keep our community going and to keep it safe. So that gives us a lot of security as far as that goes. Like just yesterday, we had the police chief, per the tribal chief, come down to look at our clinic to investigate to make sure that he thought our security was up to snuff, because the chief does not want anything to happen to our clinic.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
really taking pride and ownership, because that's going to contribute to your sustainability as well. Once the community has invested in what you all are doing. So it sounds like you've got some exciting things going on, a lot of different milestones you've hit, and you've been successful. And I know did you say 16, 17 years you've been going over?
Since 2007 was our first year, I think, right, Lois?
Oh my goodness,
Well,
that's a while. So you all continue making that journey and continue coming back with some other good news. We're going to take a short break and be right back and talk more with Rotarians Dr. Lois Wilson and Rotarian Meesh Peters. Please stay with us.
We've been here before, fighting the problems that fight back, because we see opportunities where others see obstacles. We're change makers and problem solvers, uniting over 1 million minds to address complex issues facing communities around the world, including yours. We're working together as partners and professionals, while making friendships that last a lifetime. We're Rotary, and there's no limit to what we can do.
Welcome back to the Rotary Times. We're here talking with Rotarians Dr. Lois Wilson and Rotarian Michello Peters, who are giving us an update on their Global Grant Partnership Initiative, the Michello Project. Ladies, when we left, we were talking about some of the milestones you've accomplished and even some of those unexpected developments. And I'm just so thrilled to hear about the opening of the dental clinic and the dental chair. That was really neat to hear about. And the cow. I think I'll never forget the cow, being greeted with that. How then, Dr. Lois, can you highlight again what the viewers should get excited or be excited about as it relates to your journey?
Well, I guess I would like to say that it takes a village, and we've heard that saying so many times, and that village can span over oceans. And so to have the support of people here in the US that want to make a difference in other parts of the world has been heartwarming to have that. And so one of the things I'm really happy about is that the Buffy Foundation saw fit to make contribution to us to help us install solar panels for the specific cause of installing solar panels that will ensure that we can continue to operate in a country where electricity is not always a given, meaning that it may be on, it may be off. But to know that we can overcome that, we can continue to pump water, we can continue to operate. No one wants to be in the middle of a procedure and have the power go out, and then what do you do with your patient? So having that level of security is phenomenal. So I really want to thank, that's a big project that will see life beyond the clinic. It will see life throughout the whole school and the entire project. So we're happy about that. And in furthering that, like what we're able to do, we want to add a technology center to our property, to the building, not just the clinic again, and I'm speaking broadly into the entire project, that would support the use of technology and reaching the internet and expanding the world of the participants and the community members there. And we can also, inside of that facility, hold classes to teach technology, and also for healthcare providers to have an opportunity to not just when we show up to do our projects as we've done, every 2 years or so, as far on the dental side, but it would be an ongoing opportunity for the community of healthcare providers to engage and have direct access to how treatment is done on children with disabilities. As we've learned, the interest is so great.
Yeah.
So that's just a few things I have looking forward to.
Dr. Lois, before, I know you used to meet with other practitioners there from the medical community, and you all would do some initial training with the community. Do you still do some of that teaching and learning there?
Well, yes, we do. I mean, we had the opportunity through our grant this year and through the collaboration with the medical council, the health council of the entire country. And thanks to technology, we were able to do a Zoom meeting. It was a hybrid. So we had a meeting in person with, I think was it 100 people? Meesh,
I think it was almost 250 people, I believe, showed up.
Right. And so to be able to do that and reach people across all these different disciplines, and it was on autism, and I'm telling you, it was something that they drove that conversation. They wanted to hear, how do we work with these students, with these young people, even the old people, because there was no track record, there was no solid history that we have here in the US. And if you think about, just for a minute, how much we all know neurodivergent people and people being on the spectrum, and people, how do we relate? And we've come so far. So that's one achievement I am very proud of, that we were able to do this year. That really transformed our ability to make a difference over there in the population. And Meesh, just with her background,
and I was going to ask her next, because
sure.
I knew you were dealt with the medical side, of that. I was going to throw that question to Meesh to say, are you doing some ongoing professional development with the teachers there?
What's really exciting is that after the training that we had done, I was actually invited to go to clinicians' offices to help them create a more inclusive environment. So my ability as a teacher to create an inclusive environment for people with disabilities has actually expanded now. And so I don't just work in the schools per se, that now I'm actually going into clinicians' offices to help them create an inclusive environment for all people with disabilities based on that training. So that's pretty exciting.
Absolutely. How about lessons learned? Have you had to make some adjustments, either one on the medical or on the academic side?
Well, we have to remember, this is our TIA, this is Africa, right? So there are so many lessons learned. I can say from both building this clinic and being an educator, it has gone both sides for me. It's not a vacuum. It's not me coming in there and making these changes and saving the day, but it's me coming back as a better person, as a better educator myself. I mean, there are lessons to be learned, let me tell you, between load shedding, which is when power goes off spontaneously for hours on any given day. So you don't know when the electricity is going to be on or off. Water is always a constant issue. Clean water, time. There's different perspectives in time for culture. And so, being the American that I am, and I'm a German American, so time is like, I'm late if I'm 5 minutes early. Their time is very different. Some things that we're handling right now, international banking is a real struggle between, hidden fees, and it takes 2 weeks for this and 1 day for that, and who's got this and who's got that. It's international banking is not for the light of heart, for sure. Working last minute on things never works. And I can't say enough, you've just got to have really good partners. You've got to develop those community relationships. on both sides of what you're working on, because without those relationships and without that sense of community and ownership, these kind of things cannot happen. And so many things, they just get lost in translation. Communication is hard, and so that's really, because you have perception, you have communication, it's really hard.
It's really hard. Wow. You've said you've had some lessons learned there, sounds like.
For sure.
Yeah. Dr. Lois, let's
Yes.
talk about those partnerships and collaborations that have been formed. How do they enhance the effectiveness or the reach that you have to form there as it relates to the project?
Well, I think the first and foremost is Rotarian to Rotarian. So we've been able to forge partnerships with the Rotary Club of Manzini, and they have been with us every step of the way in helping us setting up and doing our projects, coming out to support us, helping us with any time of, as Meesh mentioned, some of the things that you don't know and that you have to deal with. So they have been a valuable resource in moving this along. And then here stateside, we've had involvement of church groups. Mish's United Methodist Church has been a stalwart, and they have stood beside me from the before we even left, the very first trip. They have been supportive. So I can't thank them, St. Matthew's enough for their contributions, and organizations and individuals. So I can't name them all, but our benefactors, our donors. Before we had our 501c3, and after, and beyond. And then we have organizations from one 50c3 to another. So the Buffy Foundation I mentioned, they've been an integral partner and a cheerleader for our success as well. We've had partners over there that have been even raising money for us. So Meesh told me about the Africa Rally. And it's a fun activity, and they managed to sell calendars to help us buy a water tank. So you just never know. You've had dental people come and say, you know what, we're going to make this happen and provide equipment and installation and things that we would have been struggling to navigate from one country across borders, since this equipment is not available readily in the country. It has to be imported in.
Right.
So you just never know where help is going to turn up. So more than what I've been able to mention here, but I'll definitely say it's an important, be it an individual who says, I'm with you, I'm here for you, whatever you need, how can they help? That is encouragement that goes a long way. Individual donors, some in my club, many in Mish's Rotary clubs, and I know I'll forget someone.
Well, that's all right.
Try to name them all.
Yeah.
But know that we thank them all,
Yes.
Rotarians and non-Rotarians.
Okay,
So,
thank you. On a final note then, Meesh, can you share maybe one plan for the future expansion of the project?
Sure. We have so many great plans coming on. Like Lois had mentioned before, we're really looking at creating a technology center. There is no access to the internet where we're at. And so we really think if we do some lessons where people can learn about coding, creating things online, then that way they can be an income generator. But our biggest project yet to come is actually going to be building a school. And that is going to be the first school of its kind in the Kingdom of Eswatini, specifically created and built for children with disabilities. And so outside of St. Joseph's, which, is servicing kids with disabilities, there is not a school in the entire kingdom that was created specifically for children with disabilities with modern ideals. So we are going to be that. And so we're really excited about that.
Well, I applaud you ladies for your commitment to the project, and I'll invite you back again to come on back and tell us about the school when it's ready. Thank you for being here today.
thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
For the Rotary Times program, I am your host, Rotarian Dr. Deborah Jackson from the Rotary Club of McLean, Virginia. You're welcome to join us at a Rotary Club in your area for either breakfast, lunch, dinner, or a service project. You can find a club near you by looking us up on the internet. Many clubs are hosting meetings in person, virtually, or in some hybrid format. You only need to look us up for the details. Remember, our time is your time, and it's always time well spent. Please join us for our next program as we continue to celebrate Rotary's 117 years of service above self. Funding for this program is made possible by the generosity of Rotarian Lynn Heinrichs, State Farm Agency, McLean, Virginia.